All right, so let's dive into this AI thing and how it's changing global capability centers, especially in India. And you've got a really cool stack of sources here. We've got this report from Fourthwards by Galent. It sounds pretty intense, an event series all about the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah, it's a goldmine, this report really is. It's
Yeah.
full of real-world examples and insights from real industry leaders,
Yeah.
Not just a bunch of hype. This feels more like a strategic guide, a guide for anyone who wants to actually, do something with AI.
Yeah, and speaking of actually doing something, one of the things that really jumps out is like the sheer amount of money that's going into AI. I mean, Goldman Sachs is predicting a huge $200 billion investment by 2025. That's up from, what was it, 55.6 billion in 2024?
Exactly, total gold rush. And,
Just
and for
nice.
good reason. AI, this second generation AI, what they're calling GenAI, it could totally revolutionize the way industries work.
Yeah.
And the report has all these examples, from personalized customer experiences in retail to AI-powered drug discovery in healthcare. I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just those sectors either. We're seeing AI used to optimize energy grids, to create more sustainable manufacturing processes. It really feels like every single industry is going to be touched by this wave of AI innovation.
The interesting thing is it's not just about cutting costs and making things more efficient. Companies that are really using Gen AI, they're seeing like a 50% revenue uplift. That's pretty massive.
50%. Yeah, that is eye-catching for sure. But what's driving that increase? Is it just efficiency, or is Gen AI like unlocking entirely new ways to make money that weren't even possible before?
Yeah, it's really interesting. The report talks about this atomic nature of global services, and it shows how GCCs in India are kind of becoming these hubs of collaborative innovation. They're really emphasizing how these industry leaders, by working together, are shaping the future of work and technology itself.
So it's like GCCs are these catalysts accelerating the adoption and evolution of AI on a global scale.
Right, and this also connects to the idea of productivity gains. The report mentions an average productivity improvement of 7.8% just in the past year, and that's because of Gen AI. But here's the thing, larger companies are seeing even bigger gains because they're making these bigger investments in AI.
So the more you invest, the more you stand to gain. But it's not just about throwing money at the problem, is it? It's about being strategic about it and knowing where AI can actually make a difference. The report lays out this 4-stage roadmap, and it's meant to help companies move from just experimenting with AI to building what they call an AI factory.
Yeah, it's like a guide to escape what they call pilot purgatory, where companies get trapped doing these endless pilot programs without ever really integrating AI into their operations.
Right, and that's where this report gets really down to earth. It's not just all about the exciting potential of AI. It also tackles the practical stuff. Like one thing it highlights is the hidden costs of AI. And I think you'll appreciate this. While everyone's focused on the cool new platforms, over 75% of the total cost of ownership actually comes from these indirect expenses.
Yeah, it's like buying a fancy sports car, but then realizing you can't afford the insurance, the gas, or the maintenance.
Yeah.
Companies often forget about these indirect costs, things like retraining staff, strengthening their cybersecurity, and making sure they're complying with all the regulations that keep changing.
It's not just about the technology, it's about building a whole ecosystem around it. And that's what's so helpful about this report. It can really help you avoid some nasty budget surprises down the road.
Absolutely. And on top of that, there's this big decision. Should you buy ready-made AI solutions or build your own custom models? The report gives you a framework to make that decision. It weighs the pros and cons of each approach, depending on your resources and what you need.
Right, so it's about finding the right solution for your situation. And speaking of solutions, the way we actually build AI is also changing dramatically. The report compares it to cloud-native apps, but for AI. It breaks down the key components of this modern AI stack and how they're evolving.
Yeah, we're seeing new layers emerge, like this GenAI orchestration layer and semantic layers, which allow for more complex and advanced AI applications.
So it's creating a more dynamic landscape with a lot of potential, but also challenges that companies need to be aware of. One of the biggest concerns around AI is its impact on jobs, right? Does the report address that?
Absolutely. And while the report doesn't shy away from acknowledging that some jobs might be lost, it also paints a more nuanced picture. It predicts that by 2030, we could see about 9 million jobs lost, but also the creation of 11 million new roles. So it's not just about jobs disappearing, it's more about them transforming into something new.
So AI isn't necessarily taking over jobs, it's more like reshaping the way we work.
Exactly. And the report provides a really helpful framework for understanding what this could mean for your career. They categorize IT roles based on how likely they are to be automated and how much retraining they might need.
So some roles will be more directly impacted by AI, right? They might require a lot of upskilling, maybe even a complete career change. But others might see their roles augmented by AI, where AI handles certain tasks, freeing up humans for more strategic or creative work. And then there will always be roles that AI just can't replicate, roles that are uniquely human.
Right. It's like we're moving into this collaborative era where humans and AI work together, each playing to their strengths. But that means companies need to invest in their workforce now. They need to prepare for these changes that are already happening.
And that's where this report can be a real eye-opener. It doesn't
Yeah.
just tell you what might happen. It gives you a roadmap for navigating this transition and helps you understand where the opportunities are in this AI-driven world. So we're talking about this future where AI is just everywhere in business, but it's not like a one-size-fits-all approach, right? This report makes it clear that adopting AI is a journey. There are these stages, and not every company will be at the same point.
Right, exactly. And that's why that four-stage roadmap they have in the report is so helpful. It's designed to guide you through it, no matter if you're just starting to play with AI or you're ready for that full-on AI factory they talk about.
Okay, so let's break this roadmap down. Let's start with the experimentation phase. What does that actually look like for someone who's trying to figure out where AI fits in?
Well, it could be as simple as just using some interactive AI tools or building really basic prototypes. Even playing around with some of those publicly available AI models can be a good way to get a feel for it. It's all about getting your hands dirty, exploring without making some huge commitment.
It's like dipping your toe in the water before you jump in the deep end, right?
Yeah, perfect analogy. And this experimentation phase, it's also really important for getting buy-in from the different teams within your company. When you can show some early wins, even if they're small, it creates excitement and makes a stronger case for adopting AI on a bigger scale.
So it's not just about proving the technology works, it's about showing how it can solve real problems and make the business better. Okay, so you've got some successful experiments. What's next on this roadmap?
Well, then we move into the implementation stage, where you take those promising AI pilot projects and you turn them into something more solid, more robust. This means setting up the data pipelines, starting to automate those workflows, really integrating AI into your existing systems.
It's like taking those initial sketches and turning them into a detailed blueprint. But as you integrate more, you also have to be more responsible, right?
Oh, for sure. At this stage, governance, security, and reliability become even more important. You're dealing with real data now, making decisions that have a direct impact on the business. So you really need a solid plan to make sure your AI implementation is responsible and effective.
Yeah, and I imagine that plan should address things like data quality, how you're training your AI models, the deployment procedures, even the ethical considerations.
Exactly. It's about building a framework to make sure your AI systems are working the way they should, that they're producing reliable results, and that they're operating within ethical boundaries.
So we've experimented, we've implemented some applications. Now we're ready to take things to the next level. What does scaling AI across the whole organization actually look like?
Well, this is where you really start to see the transformative power of AI. You're taking those successful AI pilots and expanding them to other departments, other business units, maybe even across the entire company.
It's like taking a winning formula and replicating it on a much larger scale. But I'm guessing it's not as simple as just copying and pasting what worked in a pilot program.
No, not quite. Scaling AI often means building much more sophisticated AI systems, incorporating real-time data, and integrating multiple AI models into your workflows. And to handle that level of complexity, you need a serious investment in infrastructure, talent, and clearly defined processes.
That sounds a lot like building a factory specifically dedicated to producing and managing AI solutions. It's that AI factory the report talks about.
Precisely. And this AI factory needs to be able to handle the increasing volume, the speed, and the variety of data that modern businesses generate. You need powerful data engineering capabilities, advanced systems for deploying models, and sophisticated monitoring tools to track performance and catch any potential problems.
It sounds like a massive undertaking, but the rewards could be huge.
Absolutely. Companies that can successfully scale AI can achieve some really significant gains in efficiency and productivity. They can even unlock entirely new business models and revenue streams that they never even thought of before.
So it's not just about doing things faster or cheaper. It's about transforming the entire organization into something new, an AI-powered enterprise.
That's the ultimate goal, yeah.
Yeah.
And the final stage on that roadmap, that mature AI factory, that's the realization of that transformation.
So paint a picture for me. What does a mature AI factory actually look like in action?
Well, imagine a company where AI is just seamlessly woven into every part of the business. You have end-to-end automation, systems that can learn and adapt in real time. AI isn't some separate initiative, it's just how the company works.
It sounds almost utopian, this perfectly oiled machine where humans and AI are working together in perfect harmony. But how realistic is that?
It's definitely an ambitious goal, but I don't think it's out of reach. We're already seeing companies, particularly in the tech sector, making some really significant strides towards building these mature AI factories.
And I imagine the tools and technologies for managing AI are also getting better and better, making this vision more attainable.
Absolutely. The AI ecosystem is just exploding with innovation. New platforms, new frameworks, new best practices are popping up all the time. It's making it easier for companies to develop, deploy, and manage AI at scale.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time talking about the technical side of AI, but let's switch gears a bit and talk about the people involved. We mentioned that AI is going to change the workforce, create new jobs, and maybe displace others. What does that actually mean for someone like you trying to navigate a career in this AI-driven world?
Well, it means we all need to be proactive about developing the skills that are going to be in demand. Data analysis, machine learning, AI development. These are the areas where we're seeing huge growth.
So those are the technical skills, but what about the human skills? Are those becoming more important or less important in this AI world?
Oh, more important than ever. Creativity, critical thinking, the ability to communicate effectively, to collaborate. These are the things AI can't do.
Mm.
These are the skills that are going to set us apart in the future.
Because those are the skills that need uniquely human qualities, things like empathy, intuition, that ability to connect with others on an emotional level. AI can process data and find patterns, but it can't understand the nuances of human interaction.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to focus on developing these skills alongside our technical abilities. It's not about humans versus machines. It's about finding ways to work together, each playing to their strengths.
So it's about humans using AI to enhance what we can do, and AI relying on humans to guide its development and make sure it's being used ethically and responsibly.
That's it. And that brings us to this idea of responsible AI, which the report emphasizes is really important throughout the entire implementation process.
We talked about building in these ethical safeguards, but what does that actually look like in practice?
It means actively addressing concerns like bias, fairness, transparency, and accountability at every stage of AI development. For example, companies need to make sure their AI systems aren't perpetuating biases or discriminating against certain groups of people.
Because AI is only as good as the data it learns from, right? If the data is biased, the AI will be biased too. And that can have some real-world consequences, especially when AI is being used to make decisions that affect people's lives.
That's why it's so important to have diverse teams working on AI development and to be really careful about the data you use to train these systems. You need to build in those checks and balances to minimize bias and ensure fairness.
And what about transparency? Why is that such a big deal when it comes to responsible AI?
Transparency means being open about how your AI systems work and how they make decisions. It's about building trust with users and making sure AI is being used ethically and responsibly.
So it's about avoiding those black box scenarios where people have no idea how AI is affecting their lives. It's about making sure AI is explainable and understandable.
Exactly. And then there's accountability. If an AI system makes a mistake, there needs to be a clear process for figuring out who's responsible and how to fix the situation. It's about putting in safeguards to minimize harm and make sure AI is being used for good.
It sounds like we need a whole new set of ethical guidelines for this age of AI, something that goes beyond the traditional rules of business.
We do. And luckily, there are groups and experts all over the world who are working on developing these principles. But it's an ongoing conversation, and we all need to be part of shaping those AI ethics. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it and what impact it has on us and society as a whole.
So it's a shared responsibility, not just for the tech people and the business leaders, but for everyone who will be affected by AI, which is basically all of us.
Absolutely. We have to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits everyone. It's about finding that balance between progress and responsibility, innovation and ethics.
We've covered so much here, from the practical steps of actually implementing AI to the bigger societal implications. It's clear that AI isn't just some passing tech trend, it's something that's going to reshape the world in ways we can only begin to imagine.
And I think it's really important to remember that we're just at the very beginning of this journey. The field of AI is changing so fast, and we can expect even bigger changes in the years to come.
So the big takeaway is that we need to be ready to adapt, to learn, to constantly reevaluate our understanding of AI as it keeps evolving.
Exactly. And that's why reports like this one from Galent are so valuable. They give us a framework for navigating this AI-driven future and help us understand the opportunities, the challenges, and the choices we have to make along the way.
Okay, so we've talked about how AI can really boost a company's revenue and productivity, but it's not all about the numbers, right? This report digs into how GCCs, especially in India, are really showcasing what they call the atomic nature of global services. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's a really interesting concept. Think of it like this. In the past, we usually saw global services as these big kind of monolithic entities. But AI is changing things. It's making everything much more modular, more specialized. So these GCCs are breaking down these services into their smallest, most basic components. They're calling them the atoms.
So instead of one massive machine, it's more like a network of smaller interconnected parts that you can combine and rearrange in all sorts of ways. Almost like building with Legos, right?
Wow.
Each brick has its own purpose, but you can use them to build anything.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. And this whole atomic approach, it has some pretty big implications for how businesses operate and work together. It allows for a lot more agility, flexibility, and customization. Companies can basically put together the exact set of services they need tailored to their specific goals.
So it's not like being stuck with a rigid one-size-fits-all solution. You have the freedom to create something that's truly unique, something that really matches your vision.
Exactly. And that's where the collaboration comes in. These GCCs are becoming hubs for innovation, bringing together people with all sorts of expertise to create these new atomic services.
It's like a melting pot of ideas and skills, all powered by AI. And it sounds like this collaborative spirit is going beyond just the GCCs themselves. Are companies from all over the world getting involved with this atomic revolution?
Oh yeah, it's becoming a global trend. And it's not just the big companies either. Small and medium-sized businesses are finding ways to take advantage of these atomic services too. They're getting access to advanced AI capabilities that they couldn't afford before.
So it's like AI is leveling the playing field, giving everyone a chance to compete and be innovative on a global scale. That's really cool. But let's circle back to the impact on software development. You mentioned some pretty big changes are coming.
Definitely. The way we build and deploy software is being completely transformed by AI. The report actually breaks down how specific tasks within the development process will be affected. Things like code testing and documentation are already being automated by AI.
So all those repetitive, time-consuming things that developers don't really enjoy doing, those are being taken care of by AI, right? So human developers can focus on the more interesting and strategic parts of their job.
Right. It's about enhancing what human developers can do, not replacing them. AI can help us write better code, find bugs before they become problems, even generate documentation automatically.
So it's like having an AI assistant working right alongside you, making you more productive. But this shift also means that developers have to learn new skills, right?
Absolutely. The report really stresses that anyone working in software development needs to keep learning and upskilling. The tools and technologies are changing all the time, so developers need to stay ahead of the curve to stay competitive.
It's not enough to just know how to code anymore. Developers need to understand how to integrate AI into the whole process and how to use these AI tools effectively. It's a whole new approach to software development.
Yeah, and it's not just developers who need to adapt. AI is impacting the entire IT landscape, including the regulations. Countries around the world are rushing to figure out how to govern this technology that's changing so fast.
We touched on the EU's AI Act earlier, which sets some pretty strict rules for AI systems that are considered high risk. But that's just one example, right? There's a growing realization that we need to regulate AI, especially as it becomes more powerful and more widespread.
Exactly. And it's not just about government regulations either. The report talks about the importance of responsible AI practices within organizations themselves. It's about making sure that ethical considerations are built into every stage of AI development and deployment.
So it's not just about what AI can do, it's about what it should do. It's about making sure this technology is being used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
That's the main point, I think. AI has the potential to really do good in the world. but we have to make sure it's used responsibly, ethically, in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well, that's a really powerful message to end on. We've covered so much in this deep dive, from the nuts and bolts of how to implement AI to the bigger societal and ethical implications. AI isn't just some trend. It's a force that's changing the future of work, the future of business, the future of our world.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey exploring these ideas with you, and I hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights to help you navigate this exciting and rapidly changing landscape.
I've definitely learned a lot, and I think this is just the beginning of the conversation. AI is going to keep surprising us, challenging us, and inspiring us in ways we can't even predict.
That's what makes it so exciting. The future of AI is still unfolding, and we all have a part in shaping it.
So let's go out there and make it a future worth creating. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and GCCs.
It's been a pleasure.